The overture to La Forza del Destino, the Netherlands Philharmonic Orchestra, Andrea Battistoni. Good evening to all of you. And on behalf of Dutch National Opera and Ballet, a very warm welcome to the 2024 Oper Awards ceremony. And also a warm welcome to those joining us via the live stream, because we are being broadcasted worldwide via Opera Vision. My name is Floris Korti, and I work for Dutch Classical Music Television. And I was lucky to be born here in Amsterdam, in this city that now boasts best opera company. Yeah. At my family home, there wasn't much opera to be heard. But here in this theater, I discovered the magic world of opera. Are you going to sneeze in return all night? Here I discovered opera. Here I saw not only the great classics, but also overwhelming and topical operas about rebellious animals, school shootings, and police violence. And here I discovered the sheer power of opera. So I'm delighted to celebrate with all of you tonight. And this makes me wonder about all of you. Do we have any opera fans here tonight? Please raise your hands. Yeah. That was to be expected. Eh? Good. Are there any opera professionals amongst us? People working in opera? Please raise your hands. Yeah, that's about a fifth of the hall. Great. Is there any opera singers? Singers? Yeah. Woo. Okay, quite a lot. Yeah. Is there anyone who hates opera, but who is forced to join here by his partner or colleagues? Anyone over here? Yeah. Good luck tonight. We'll get you through it. One more thing. Where are the Wagner lovers? Yeah. Quite a lot. I have some good news for you. Firstly, there will be some Wagner tonight. And secondly, with no less than 19 awards to be handed out, tonight is going to be as epic and as lengthy as your average Wagner opera. So get ready. Now you're still laughing. Okay, wait. Get ready for a night full of beauty and excitement, together with one of the main orchestra partners of this opera house, the Netherlands Philharmonic Orchestra, led by Andrea Battistoni. And without much further ado, I would like to welcome to the stage the initiator of the Oper Awards. He is chair of the jury. He is deeply involved in the international opera world. He even holds a PhD in opera perception. So warm welcome, Ulrich Runke.
Dear guests, there are people who say that opera is old and grey. But let me tell you, I've been coming to this wonderful opera house for over 30 years. And in that time, the only one getting old and grey is me. When I first saw this place, it was a bit like love at first sight. The house with its remarkable glass front opening up so invitingly to the city. And then this amazing hall with this special auditorium where you sit so close to the artists. This sense of closeness and togetherness is about more than architecture. It reflects a big idea. The Amsterdam Opera House is a house for everyone, for the whole society. On the other hand, good external conditions are just the beginning. In the end, it's the content that counts. Quality, success, and popularity must be won anew every day with hard work, creativity, and a thirst for development. And in my opinion, that's the most important thing, development. If you develop opera correctly, it's forever young. It simply doesn't age. This house has a people who know how to do this, who know how to develop across all its departments, young people, experienced people, fantastic teams. The Dutch National Opera, under its director, Sophie de Lind, is quite simply the best opera company. The same applies to the artists. It is one thing to make your way to the top. It's another to stay there. For that reason, I'm all the more pleased to have some well-known names among the award winners, great artists who have been inspiring us for years with their excellent work and who are still pushing to reach new heights of creativity and expression. All of the award winners tonight, newcomers or veterans working on stage or behind the scenes, have an extraordinary impact. With their performances, they not only develop the art itself, but they help grow the audience's love and enthusiasm for opera. My heartfelt thanks go to all these protagonists, stakeholders, and artists. And also to you, dear audience, because without you, none of this would be possible. And finally, of course, my thanks to my esteemed jury colleagues in the first row, to whom I would now like to hand over. I'm wishing you all a great evening.
Hunke, chair of the jury. Before we start with the awards, I'm honored to announce the Director General of Culture and Media at the Ministry of Education, Science and Culture. And I've heard she is a big opera fan who literally comes to see every opera here at this house. So give her a warm welcome, Barbara Wolfensberger.
Thank you. You look very beautiful here, from here. Good evening, everyone. It is a great honor for me to welcome you to this special gala. I do so on behalf of Fleur Greper, the Netherlands State Secretary for Education, Culture and Science, and all my colleagues from the Ministry of Education, Culture and Science. Fleur sends her regards, and of course her regrets, at missing such a unique event. A glorious evening that highlights the wonderful things that are happening in the world of opera, as all of the awards being presented tonight clearly show. And I'm especially proud to be here because opera is one of my first great loves in the arts. I must have been about 12 years old when my father began taking me along to the opera. I remember drinking in all the signs, the sights and the sounds, sometimes leaving me with a little bit of a headache because of the high-pitched voices, but I was just overwhelmed. Those evenings made a big impression on me. And it could be a long sit for a youngster, however. And by the second interval, I was usually allowed to leave. I think my father also wanted to leave because he was getting really tired, but we usually left at the second interval. But now, I am just so happy at that experience. And I wish every child could have such an amazing experience. Unfortunately, we still see far too few young people in our opera houses and concert halls. So maybe we should ask all you opera lovers to bring along a young guest once in a while. A child or grandchild, a nephew or niece, or the boy or girl next door. It would be a great way to plant the seeds for a new generation of enthusiasts. Opera brings all the new stories together on stage, opens them up for emotion and empathy. Opera presents burning issues and pressing topics for discussion. Opera continues to renew itself, finding new ways to reach new audiences. This takes huge effort, strong commitment, and sometimes difficult choices. Or it calls on us to address the space that continues to exist between the stage and the wider world. In any event, the genre continues to evolve, and that is as it should be. Art does not stand still. I am proud that the Netherlands is a major contributor to developments in the sector, with the Dutch National Opera as an inspiring example. Audiences come from across the country and beyond, and they come to this venue to enjoy stories that touch people's hearts. Stories with the power to move and make you laugh, to confront and amuse, to captivate and give cause for reflection. This is what the arts are all about. It is true of opera and true of art and culture in all their forms. The Dutch National Opera therefore fulfills a vital mission within the Dutch cultural and operatic landscape. A mission of local, like here in the beautiful city of Amsterdam, national and international significance. This is a place where opera as a genre continues to develop, where highly relevant themes are addressed and where new audiences are reached. Together with the Nederlandse Reisopera and Opera Zuid, a new generation of opera singers is being trained, and new perspectives on opera as an art form are taking shape through young directors and composers. Here, thanks to the inspiring leadership of Sophie de Lind and the commitment of her colleagues on stage, backstage, and throughout the venue, countless people work every day to deliver on that mission, from lighting technicians to chorus singers, and from costume designers to stage managers. With the best orchestras in the Netherlands, like Netvo, out front, and a fantastic choir on stage. You are all connoisseurs. You know and appreciate the ways in which opera brings together so many diverse areas of knowledge and expertise. Yet it cannot be said often enough. The Dutch National Opera plays a hugely important role in training and developing young talent to the highest levels of international excellence. Tonight, the Dutch National Opera has the tremendous honor of being crowned the Best Opera Company of 2023. The very fact that these awards are being presented outside Germany for the first time, here in the Netherlands, at the home of our National Opera and Ballet, shows that the international opera community has an eye and an ear for the role our country fulfills. This international recognition is of immense value, especially at a time when the role of culture and its added value for society is being widely discussed. I hope that opera will continue to give everyone in this country and beyond much food for thought. Our newly appointed State Secretary of Culture summed it up beautifully. Addressing the House of Representatives for the first time earlier this month, she said, "Culture is what moves us." In my view, opera does exactly that, by bringing to life stories from all ages, by tapping into universal themes, by finding a way to the heart through the stage. It only remains for me to warmly congratulate the Dutch National Opera and all the other prize winners. I join you all in looking forward to the joy and the spectacle that this evening and this wonderful venue have in store for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Barbara Wolfensberger, for joining us here tonight. Wonderful. It's time for awards, and all the awards tonight will be presented by members of the jury. So I'm going to invite our first jury member here on stage, a music journalist and critic for Der Tagesspiegel. His specialism is Italian romantic opera, but his all-time favorite is Die Tote Stadt by Gorngold. And he dislikes the focus on big names in the opera world. However, he's going to announce some big categories, such as Best Orchestra and Best Chorus. Please welcome Uwe Friedrich.
Good evening. So I will start with the award for the Best Orchestra, and that's the Orchestra del Teatro alla Scala. Even Donizetti experts were surprised by the dark colors that the orchestra of La Scala discovered with its chief conductor Riccardo Chailly in Lucia di Lammermoor. This was not only bel canto as a star vehicle, but with some humble musical accompaniment, but a profound social drama driven by the orchestra itself. The sensual sounds in Kurtág's, in the world premiere of Kurtág's Fin de Partie, are unforgettable too. Whether in Montemezzi's L'Amore dei Tre Re recently, or in the huge German repertoire, this orchestra always plays deeply rooted within the Italian musical tradition, which means always thinking in vocal lines. So I want to ask to come to the stage André Comploy from the Teatro alla Scala.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be here tonight and accept on behalf of Teatro alla Scala and its 135 members of the orchestra the Oper Award for the Best Orchestra. This makes us hugely happy and is a great compliment for the theatre. Since I think that the evening should start with a short first acceptance speech, I simply say grazie di cuore e buona serata a tutti.
So without further ado, the next category, Best Choir. And the best choir is the Monteverdi Choir. At festivals, please feel free. At festivals, on concert tours, and in their numerous recordings, this is an ensemble whose quality will always leave the listener speechless. The singers have long since gone beyond the realm of their namesake and opera co-inventor Claudio Monteverdi and moved forward well into the 19th century. Whether Baroque, the classical period, or the Romantic era, their singing is always unerringly tailored to the specific stylistic requirements. Again and again, they have proven that in addition to religious introspection in cantatas, passions, masses, they are also masters of the great operatic gesture, astounding us in Berlioz's Le Troyen. Please welcome Rosa Solinas from the management of the Monteverdi Choir and choir members.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a huge pleasure for us to be here this evening and a great honour to receive this award on behalf of all our colleagues in the Monteverdi Choir. The Monteverdi Choir this year will celebrate its 60th anniversary. I've only sung in the choir for 22 of those 60 years. But I know that in its 6-decade history, the Monteverdi Choir has always striven for the highest artistic standards, and we will continue to do that for many, many years to come. I'm very pleased to introduce to you the man who conducted us in Les Troyens, at Versailles, in Salzburg, in Berlin, and at the BBC Proms, Dinesh Souza.
I will take the cue from the first speech and make it very brief. I just wanted to thank Sam, also Rosa, and the other Sam who are here representing the wonderful Monteverdi Choir and orchestras. And to say, I guess we've established this as an opera audience, so you know what Les Troyens, what kind of adventure it is. It's huge. And it requires everybody, I believe, to just throw themselves at it without any kind of reservation. And I think the Monteverdi Choir has been doing that for 60 years, and I'm so pleased that they get this recognition this year after the wonderful experience and moving, life-changing project that this piece has given us. And I was very, very lucky to be surrounded by such a fearless group of singers, and I have to extend that to an equally fearless Orchestre Révolutionnaire Romantique and the whole team and supporters who made this happen, because it's when you do something that big, you realize that it really is such a huge team effort, and I was so happy to be part of it, and I wish you all a wonderful evening, and thank you once again, Oper, for this wonderful award.
I only add, grazie mille.
So after giving 2 awards to collectives and being introduced to somebody who doesn't like the big names, which is not quite true, I am now awarding one certainly big name in stage design. The best stage designer is Paul Zoller. Even before I said why we chose you, but I might as well give you the award and then tell the audience why we chose you. Dante, or Dante as he's called in this French opera, is wasting his life in a mysterious labyrinth at the Staatstheater Braunschweig. At the end of a hallway or a flight of stairs, the door opens into a room unexpected by him or the audience. A challenge for the workshops, I'm sure. A challenge for the stagehands, a triumph with the audience and with us, the critics. Just as Die Frau ohne Schatten at the Festspielhaus Baden-Baden, the interiors, exteriors and the desert spaces for Massenet's Hérodiade in Düsseldorf also retained their mystery and at the same time opened up spaces for associations, while older designs such as Turandot in Berlin demonstrate excellent repertoire qualities. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Sounds great. Thanks. It's a great honor to stand here and to receive a prize like that, because I like my work so much, and then it's even better to get a prize for that. And of course, my work is also always a collaboration with the directors, and they have to be named here, like Lorenzo Fioroni or Lydia Steyer, Andreas Homoki or Philipp Himmelmann, and some others too, but I'm really pleased to get this prize. Thanks.
And now for some music. Best newcomer is Hugh Montague Randall. As a searching, stumbling Hamlet, I can do this with the award in my hand. As a searching, stumbling Hamlet at the Komische Oper Berlin, the British baritone Hugh Montague Randall made tickets sell like hotcakes. It was the same in London, Paris, Chicago, Aix, and Glyndebourne. His Pelléas was just as acclaimed as his Papageno, his Eisenstein, his Malatesta. It all began with Fiorello in Barbiere di Siviglia at the Glyndebourne Festival, a small part with big consequences. Whether Count Almaviva in Le Nozze di Figaro, Kindertotenlieder, or Duruflé's Requiem, Randall fits it all in and captures the essence of the music. So, my congratulations. Thank you.
I'll put it there, otherwise I know I will drop it. Of course, I have some thanks to make, and I'll be as quick as I can. I'm incredibly grateful and really, really honored to receive this amazing award. A heartfelt thank you to my parents, who have lighted my path with their luminous footsteps. My family, my partner, my management team, amazing management team, teachers, coaches, and colleagues who have supported and inspired me throughout my journey. As I observe the current state of our industry, I see a garden, a beautiful garden that has weathered many storms, but is now poised for its season of renewal. It is our duty to shine our light on it, cultivate it, and create fertile grounds for new seeds to flourish. Both opera and nature are greater than us as individuals, yet it is up to us to care for them so that future generations may enjoy their boundless beauties. Let us ensure that we feed it with the utmost love, admiration, and respect that it deserves. Thank you very much.
And now the best newcomer, Hugh Montague-Randall, is going to sing Au vin dissipe la tristesse from the opera Hamlet by Ambroise Thomas.
Qui pèse sur mon cœur, à moi les rêves de l'ivresse et le rire moqueur. Au liqueur enchanteresse verse l'ivresse et l'oubli dans mon cœur. Douce liqueur, au liqueur enchanteresse verse l'ivresse dans mon cœur. Au liqueur enchanteresse verse l'ivresse et l'oubli dans mon cœur. La vie est sombre, les ans sont courts. De nos beaux jours, Dieu sait le nombre. Chacun est là, sportissima, sa lourde chaîne, cruel devoir, long désespoir de l'âme humaine. Loin de nous, noir présage, loin de nous, noir présage, les plus sages sont les fous. Le vin dissipe la tristesse qui pèse sur mon cœur. À moi, les rêves de l'ivresse et le rire moqueur. Au liqueur enchanteresse verse l'ivresse et l'oubli dans mon cœur. Douce liqueur, au liqueur enchanteresse verse l'ivresse dans mon cœur. Au liqueur enchanteresse verse l'ivresse et l'oubli. Oh, mon cœur.
Randall, winner, Best Newcomer, singing an aria about the power of drinking, which will turn out to be somewhat of a common thread tonight. But more on that later. First, I'd like to invite the next jury member to the stage. He started off as a ballet dancer and then moved to journalism. He's one of the best-known German critics, and he writes about everything from music to television, but above all, about opera. And he even takes his work home, because in his apartment, he sits on old chairs, old seats from the Bayerische Staatsoper. Serious dedication. Please welcome Manuel Broek.
Thank you, Floris. The seats of the Munich Opera, a guilty pleasure, I omit. And I also have looked for the numbers. Dear Uli, I'm 3 years longer here, a regular guest at this wonderful stage, now the first time on stage. But it's not about me, it's about our winners. So I present to you the best rediscovery of the year, which goes to the small, but in the history of theater staging, very important Staatstheater Meiningen for Ivan I by Georges Bizet. In an ironic twist, the German premiere of Georges Bizet's Ivan the Terrible or Ivan IV at the courageous Staatstheater Meiningen took place on the first anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. While long in the making before these events, director Hinrich Horstkotte, who is in the public, his creative adaptation to its historical settings added further relevance. Thus, an exciting, tonally interesting piece for which opera history previously had had little regard took on new urgency. A few minutes of its music even had their world premiere that night, which just goes to show a sense of curiosity, well and alive, and in what is often despairingly regarded as the provinces. So I'm delighted to ask on stage the intendant of the Staatstheater Meiningen, Jens Neundorf von Ensberg.
Good evening. It's a great honor for me to stay here. And that's the moment to say thank you. Thank you to my, no, not to my parents. No, that's a joke. Thank you for all members of the Staatstheater Meiningen, which realized this very interesting piece. Thanks, first of all, for the jury. Thanks so much that you don't forget we have a theater in Meiningen. And thanks to Hinrich Horstkotte, he was the director and the set designer. And thanks to Mr. Bizet. He wrote this extraordinary opera, and thanks for my colleagues who forgot this opera that we were the first. Thank you very much.
From the old to the quite new, the best world premiere is coming. It goes to Lili Elbe at the Theater St. Gallen. one might call it an old hat. Transgender individuals on stage have been around nearly as long as opera itself. But never before has this topical socio-political subject been set to music in such a large scale, skillfully touching way as in Lili Elbe by Tobias Picker, the production with which Theater St. Gallen courageously reopened its renovated house. In her portrayal of one of the first people to undergo gender reassignment, the female baritone Lucia Lucas in particular created a musical monument to this historical figure that also reflects the experiences of her own life. Now, I invite on stage the winner for Best World Premiere, the Theater St. Gallen. Please come up. The Intendant Jan-Henrik Bogen, composer Tobias Picker, director Christian Lada, conductor Modestas Pitrenas, plus members of the theater and the team.
Goedenavond, grüezi, and good evening from us, from St. Gallen. Yes, we're quite excited about this award. Thank you so much to the jury. And as Tobias Picker has said when we started the process for this opera has been an act of love. And so many people have put their hearts and soul into it that I just have to name a few of them. So bear with me. I'm also trying to make it short. First of all, of course, Tobias Picker, who came in from New York tonight, and his librettist Arilev Stallman, who cannot be here with us tonight. Next to their dramaturg, Lucia Lucas, who was there from the very beginning, so that we don't have a piece that just talks about, but also has the perspective of a person who has a trans experience themselves. And Lucia, we already heard it, also gave life to the stage version of Lili Elbe. So yes, Lucia was there as well. Stage director Christian Lada, who also designed the sets and representing everybody who was working with him on this, the fabulous Lauji. Our musical director, Modestas Pitrenas, and his entire musical team, the Symphony Orchestra St. Gallen, the chorus, all the soloists. And of course, it was a cross-production with our wonderful dance company led by Frank Vanna Pedersen. I want to thank all of our technical crew and workshops and really the entire house, because we're also a bit the underdog, maybe like the Staatstheater Meiningen. I want to thank our financial supporters and sponsors, and of course our board. Some of those are here tonight, who trusted us with this quite daring decision to reopen the house with this. The show was a huge success with the audience and the press, and I just want to say to my colleagues who program opera that maybe in times like this we shouldn't only, but maybe we have to tell new stories, have new voices in our room, and open up the conversation. And if you're not sure if we deserve this prize, you can still watch the entire production on Opera Vision. Do that. And always remember, love is love.
We go on. Next is Best Director. The name was heard tonight because she also is a partner of Paul Zollner. It's Lydia Steyer. The American Lydia Steyer, who lives in Germany, has become one of the most important opera directors in recent years. Back in 2016, she caused a sensation in Basel with her idiosyncratic interpretation of Stockhausen's Donnerstag aus Licht. In 2023, not only Herr Frau ohne Schatten in Baden-Baden was as entertaining as serious, which is really hard to do. In Verdi's Don Carlo at the Grand Théâtre de Genève, she captivatingly showed the eternal inhumane mechanisms of the surveillance state. It was an enthralling night, excellently done. Her Frankfurt Aida faced the big shadow of Hans Neuenfels, while not long ago in Vienna, and still to see, she went searching for the best of all possible Candide worlds. Congratulations. And Sophie, she didn't had done anything here, so women 4. Thank you. So, just a few questions, Lydia.
Yes.
How did you know directing that the kind of job, let's give a try?
That's a great question. I was really bossy as a kid. Really bossy. I made all of my friends and my siblings do shows, so it started there.
That was I expecting from an American. But this, of course, goes directly to the question: is entertainment is living as an American director in Germany? Is it entertainment versus hard-boiled Regie Theater, or how does it work?
I really believe they have to live together. We can't only give people broccoli, we have to give them candy. And if you can combine them, wait, no, that would be disgusting. But you have to give them both. You have to, we have to seduce the public. And we have to tell them something about themselves and turn the mirror onto our society. And in my opinion, one can do that best by bringing them in with pictures and great details. It has to be a great entertaining show.
How do you decide this is a picture which is interesting for you?
I work with wonderful teams. I have, with Paul Zoller, who got the award already, I have a great bunch of people, and we turn the pieces over and over again until we can find a dynamic, engaging way of telling the story that seems relevant and important and necessary.
Are you more in comedy or in tragedy, or is the mix the best of all dramatic worlds?
Oh, it's the mix that hurts, isn't it? Yeah.
American. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
More music has to come, but before, I have to announce the best singer of the year 2023. It's Michael Spyers. Michael Spyers' voice has metallic power, slenderness, freshness, and a sandblast-like softness. It is absolutely unique among today's tenors. Hardly anything before him has shown that Hector Berlioz' tenor parts require their own specific type of voice, and that it is possible to build a career on roles like Faust, Benvenuto Cellini, and Aeneas in Les Troyens. Michael Spyers has now reached a dramatic intensity that is sometimes reminiscent of John Wicker's, enough to tackle parts such as Lohengrin, a unique path. So I invite on stage the winner of the Opera Award 2024 for Best Singer, Michael Spyers.
Guten Abend und herzlichen Dank für das. Guten Abend. And hello, I just wanted to say a few words to say thank you to my family, to my wife, and to my opera company, the Ozarks Lyric Opera. As some of you know, I am a singer, but I'm also an administrative director. I'm the artistic director of an opera company, and I just wanted to give a few words about that kind of a role and what we do, and it's art form that we all love. I started out many years ago as a singer, and I come from a very musical family. All of my family are singers. My sister's a Broadway singer, my brother's an opera singer. We sing everything that you can possibly think of. But to go into administration was one of the scariest and most difficult things that I had ever done in my life. And I've learned opera from the backside, and one of the most interesting things that I've noticed is that even when I was starting out, I'd hear whispers like, "Well, opera's dying. Yeah, opera's a dying art form, and it's just going away." And once I started doing all of the research and started looking actually into everything that opera is and what it does for the society, I started to realize very much so, loud and clear, that is not the case. And as you hear tonight, know this. Anyone that says that opera is dying just doesn't know the facts. If you go back 100 years, there were less than half of what we have now. There's an estimated of 2,000 opera companies around the world. It's a very different way that opera is presented, but to me, opera is the most meta art form, and it was the first art form that brought all of the arts together under one guise, called opera, which many people don't know that the etymology of the word actually means a work of art and a work within society, which, as you can see tonight and all around the world, this is the point of opera, and this is why we're here. It's not just to get up and sing and look pretty, it's to change society, and this is what we're trying to do as opera singers and administrators. And for those of you that want to get into the change, there's lots of people that would like your help out there. And specifically what he had said, the presenter before, about the support of opera, there's no better return on your investment. And if you actually look at the economic statement of this, the Economic Forum of the European Union did one of the largest studies. And in the last years, they found out that for every euro spent, 8 euros goes into the local economy, because opera is not just going to have fun, it's going to eat, it's going to get drinks, maybe shopping beforehand. And this is the thing that we all need to remember as members of this part of society that loves this art form. It's not just to entertain, it's actually to engage in the city and to really make a part of the change and influence. So please think of that next time that you talk to someone about, and they say, "Man, opera's dying." It's like, no, it's really not. I promise you it is not. So thank you very much for this.
So, and now the singing administrator will show some of his vocal skills. He has brought something very special for you. You will hear it for the first time live on stage. Michael Spires with Nun sei bedankt, mein lieber Schwan from Lohengrin. He will sing the complete role from the 10th of March on at the Opera du Rhin in Strasbourg, and he has a contract for the Bayreuth Festival. So you will be the first.
im wilder Kampf die Schwert im Sieg verleiht. Ja, bei dem Ringe sollen mein Gedenken der einst dich aus Schmach und Not befreit. Ja, bei dem Ringe sollen mein Gedenken der einst dich aus Schmach und Not befreit. Leb wohl, leb wohl, leb wohl, mein süßes Weib, leb wohl, mir tönt das Groll, wenn ich noch bleib. Leb wohl, leb wohl.
Michael Spyrus awarded Best Male Singer, changing society one aria at a time. May I invite our next jury member to the stage? She plays the violin and piano. She has a keen interest in Beethoven, but also in contemporary opera, as long as there's no wobbly voices to be heard on stage. She was awarded herself as a music journalist quite some prestigious prizes, but tonight she's here to announce the last two categories before the intermission. Eleonora Bühning.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps some of you happened to be in this opera house yesterday. Of course, you never forget, if you do so, the dresses of La Prima Donna and especially of La Seconda Donna yesterday. These ladies, wrapped in unbelievable and colorful dresses and luxury, they looked like tasty pralines or chocolate, but we all know that in Agrippina from Handel, these ladies are pure poison. This is one of those sophisticated ideas of a special costume designer, since years all over the world, best known for his artistic creativity and wit. And today I have the honor to pass over to this man. I don't tell the name because otherwise the jingle will work. To pass over to this guy the Opera Award for the Best Costume Designer. Before he's getting here, I have to read the official laudatio of the jury. He invented the masks and costumes in an outstanding new opera staged also here in Amsterdam, Animal Farm, after George Orwell, composed by Alexander Raskatov. The semi-transparent masks for Animal Farm at the Dutch National Opera Amsterdam are ambivalent, sad and evil, vulnerable and threatening, an imagery that is almost essential to the uncomfortable truths of this opera. Klaus Bruns has been designing tailor-made costumes for plays and operas in a variety of individual ways in close collaboration with major directors, not only Barry Kosky. This award is not his first, but extremely well deserved. Please Klaus Boons come to the stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the jury. And yeah, of course, thank you to all my fantastic co-workers here. I don't know where I'd rather be to receive this thing, other than here in Amsterdam Opera House, where I'm more or less like a fixture by the time now. You all know, my colleagues here, how much I appreciate your work, but I really have to mention, in this context, I have to mention one particular man who really did the most of the work in this production. He really formed with his own hands and his brain and his knowing of how doing stuff. He did this work, and this is Ton Jonning. And Jolling, and he's one. Ton, this award is at least as much yours as it is mine, so it's a shared one. Thank you so much, all of you.
Okay, I will. Yes, excuse me, I'm still here. And I have the big honor and the great pleasure to announce another award. And to my opinion, it's the all-over most important award ever, the Oper Award für das beste Opernhaus 2024, the Best Opera Company.
Are you actually willing to change? Or are you afraid to let go of what you know?
Magic of Lohengrin. If I would be able to describe it with words, I don't think it would be magical anymore.
I really think that this is the art of the future, bringing different genres together.
The opera is about the story of George Orwell, about a group of animals living in a farm.
We might not know any different, but what if we face the music?
We hear Rosalka speak through the music.
Innocence is tragically the last opera of Kaija Saariaho.
It's about love, it's about vanity, it's about how we handle vanity or getting older.
Yes, I love this opera house also very, very much because it's so near. The stage and the audience is so near here as nobody can find in another. Besides, in very small theaters, there it's possible. I saw here outstanding productions in the last season. Outstanding. I heard outstanding singers, outstanding artists, and for me, very important new productions, nearly every season, and also very sophisticated co-productions. So a lot of must-haves to see and to hear, not only for the local audience in Amsterdam, but for all of us who are traveling in music. So, and now I read the official laudatio of the jury. The Dutch National Opera, under its director, Sophie de Lint, shows in an exemplary way how an opera house can be relevant and win acceptance in a diverse, modern, urban society. Sophisticated projects and the right approach bring together people from different origins, backgrounds, and interests under the common roof of the house on Waterloo Plain. At the same time, its core identity as an opera house remains at the forefront of programming and perception, anchoring the art form in the future. The excellent selection of artists and their fitting combinations for a wide-ranging canon of rarities, classics, and impactful world premieres turns every new production into a true experience of special artistic interest. The Dutch National Opera is a house for its city and at the same time an indispensable player in the international opera business. Congratulations. And now please, Sophie de Lint, come up to yourself.
Center stage.
I have to turn because of, yes. Yes, congratulations, Sophie. You started here in Amsterdam in 2018. And people think that these are 5 years, but they aren't, because when you started there was the pandemic time and everything stopped. How did you manage it in only 3 years to reach this success?
So, before I answer your question, I would like to say thank you. First, I really would like to say, and this is a declaration of love to all my amazing colleagues of Dutch National Opera and Ballet. Thank you. You have to know that my dear colleagues at Dutch National Opera and Ballet are the most engaged people I know on the planet. They are always ready to go for the extra mile. They love opera, they love the audience, they're going to give everything for it, and this is very special. Amsterdam is also much more than the colleagues of Dutch National Opera. We have fantastic partners. One of our orchestra partners is performing on stage tonight. Many, many thanks to all the musicians of the Netherlands Philharmonic Orchestra. But today in the hall, there is a whole cultural sector that is present and that is so important. So I already would like to say now that this award is really not only the one from Dutch National Opera and Ballet, but all the people we're working with, all the schools, the students of the schools, many of them are here tonight. Thank you. And all the other companies who we are indeed creating opera with. This is very special that you all decided to come with us and celebrate. The friends, the supporters, the sponsors, thank you very much.
Okay.
Now I have to answer Eleonore Buning's question. Actually, we did have 5 years for transition between Pierre Audi and me as leader of this company. I have to say that the pandemic for us was a blessing in disguise because it taught us so many things, and it taught us to work differently, to step out of the opera bubble. Suddenly, we had to think differently, and we decided to entrust the stage to the new generation of artists, to the young makers in the country. And we asked them, show us how you want to do it. And this has been an enormous eye-opener to all of us. They came up with a show called Faust Working Title, and all these artists we're still working on today. Some of them are now creating a new opera, The Shell Triumph, for Opera Forward 24. And I think what is crucial is that we have to listen to the youth. We have to invest in the youth. We have to take them seriously and try to understand their concerns and how they want to work, how they see the world and the planet. So I have to say this is the most important thing we're doing right now, I think.
Yes. I was touched by what Michael Spira said before you, for an hour, about the social and political impact of opera. And this was a question I wanted to ask you too, in a similar way. I think we all know that opera or music cannot stop wars, and it's not a weapon to heal human diseases. It's art, it's an artwork. But it may change something in the society, and it has to play a role in society. Can you tell us something about this?
Yes, with pleasure. Well, as Michael Spira said, I think that opera is more alive than ever, and this is very good news. The theaters are full. We are also attracting new audience, and people want to come to the opera. Not long ago, I had a meeting with colleagues from New York, the Apollo Theater in Harlem. And a young lady in the meeting, she told me, you have to know, Sophie, 2 years ago, I had no idea what opera is. Right now, we all love it. We want to be part of it. And this is what is happening. There's a real buzz around the opera world, and people want to be part of it. This is very special. I think right now, in our world, doesn't go very well with our world. It's a world of polarization. It's a world of extremes. It's black or white. It's good or bad. People are accusing each other, pointing the hand at each other. Opera is the most brilliant art form ever to deal with this because it can give different perspectives through all its layers. It can bring nuances, it brings different people and cultures together, and it's an eye-opener. It's not going to cure us, but we had it said by an artist this morning, it can release the tensions, and this is already very big. So I think opera can really help us, yes, is an agent of change.
And it's an ear opener too. And if you can hear to another opinion, you can't fight to it. So this is crucial to music, I think. But opera is another thing. Opera is also a big a magic box filled with emotions and filled with wonders and filled with that everybody who is to this art form devoted, we know this, that it makes us a child again. And when we are sitting there, and when it's very good, the best moments are those we are thrilled and we are a child again, I think. Yes. And what, last question, can you tell me or us all something about the special forms of co-productions with institutions in this city? There are lots of institutions.
Yeah, I think so. When I said before, I think we have to step out of the opera bubble. It's a beautiful bubble, and but by getting into the dialogue and the encounter of others and other institutions, we can really enrich and expand our art form. I'm just going to give you a quick example. This morning we kicked off our new opera, The Shell Trial. The Shell Trial, we are doing it together with a smaller, very socially engaged company called Het Geluid in Maastricht. This is Gable and Romy Olofsen. And hello to Romy and Gable, they're there somewhere. With their expertise, their way of working, they were in touch with the young writers of the theater play. They can help us make big steps. They are right now developing special children chorus, 40 young kids, a very diverse group of kids. They find special people to train them, to have them all on stage. It's a very inclusive project, giving representation to a lot of people who were not acquainted with opera before, but now are going to be able to share their stories. So this is for me a perfect example on how we can work with a great partner in the Netherlands, build new collectives in the Netherlands, starting from the children, and at the same time we're working together with the Bregenz Festival and the Opera Philadelphia and in discussion with other partners. So we're developing something special in the country that then travels around the world, and that's what we like.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of the Dutch National Opera, as I said, this award is really not only an award for Dutch National Opera and Ballet, but it's really the award of a sector. And I would like to invite you all in the foyer to raise a glass and celebrate the power of opera together. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 2024 Opera Awards, Oper Awards. Please take your seats. How are you all doing? Good? Yeah. Are you ready for more awards? Yeah. I can't hear you. Are you ready for more awards? Good. Our next jury member travels Europe to see as many operas as possible. He writes for various newspapers and websites. He is interested in queerness and inclusion in opera. And he loves to talk about the future of cultural journalism, which makes him the right man to announce the next category, Best Future Project. Here is Georg Kasch.
We've heard tonight already a lot about the vividness and liveliness of opera, which is true, but I don't want to pour water into the wine, but I have to admit that opera tends to look back a little bit more intensely than forward from time to time. So projects which focus on the future are immensely important. This is why I'm honored to present to you the Oper Award 2024 for Best Future Project, Green Opera at La Monnaie de Monde in Brussels. Since 23 years now, the Opera House in Brussels has been consistently addressing the impact of its activities on the environment. Its goals are the reduction of carbon dioxide emissions, sustainability and environmental awareness among all employees. La Monnaie de Monde has been pursuing the Green Opera project as part of its CSR strategy since 2022. Waste separation, noticeably reduced energy and water consumption, beehives on the roof, self-made detergents and recycling on stage designs, in addition to bicycle racks and optimized in-house logistics. These are just a few of the changes which are also being promoted at Collectif 17 Heures Vincent. This commitment is most remarkable and exemplary. So I kindly ask to come to the stage Peter de Carlouve and Agathe Chambordon.
I apologize for Agathe, who was announced, but she's not there. Thank you very much. We feel very honored to receive a prize which is future-oriented. And it's an honor for the whole company, to be honest, because it's an investment that the whole company is making for many, many years. It's an investment that is really talking about our corporate social responsibility. It's going much more beyond than only green. It's also connected to audiences, work with audiences, restructuring audiences, finding new audiences in the very, very strong and varied network that Brussels represents. It's also about artists and personnel and their well-being. It's really trying to make a future thinking about our companies that I would invite everyone present here from the professional sector to ponder about, to think about, and to work on. Thank you very much.
Well, now to something very different. It's not an easy task to choose a solo album amongst the many that are published every year. But finally, we found a voice which melds a profound technique and subtle emotions. The Oper Award 2024 for Best Solo Album goes to Cyril Dubois, So Romantique. The French tenor Cyril Dubois has been an integral voice of the recordings of Palazzetto Bruzzano for many years. But it is with his album So Romantique that he has become truly unmistakable. He presents unknown areas from Benjamin Godard's Pedro de Zalamea, Fromental Lévy's Le Mousquetaire de la Reine, or Louis Clapissant's Giby la Cornemuse. An ideal repertoire for his elegant, sensitively melting timbre. In Gaetano Donizetti's aria, Ah mes amis, quel jour de fête, from La Fille du Régiment, the high seas shine seemingly without effort. Also remarkable is the Orchestre National de Lille, which moves into the top league with this recording. Please welcome on stage Cyril Dubois.
Good evening. Thank you so much to the jury. Thank you for this wonderful evening. This is a bit stressful to talk and to sing in front of nearly the whole musical industry, but I'll try to do it. There are no better awards than the ones that are not expected. And definitely receiving this award for this recital, So Romantique, is such an honor. To be picked up among all these fantastic recitals that were released last year is such a joy. And it is also a good recognition for all these unknown pieces you quoted. We wanted the public to discover again. Of course, there are all these incredible masterpieces with opera of Gounod, Massenet, Bizet, everyone knows. But there are also this fantastic and forgotten music that urge to be rediscovered, and I hope that hearing this music will give them chance to be played again on stage. This project could not have occurred without strong partnership, and I would like to associate a few people to tonight's success. First of all, the Orchestra of Lille, conducted by Maestro Pierre Dumousseau, with which I felt so lifted and accompanied. Second, the editorial and research team of Palazzetto Bruzzano, and especially Alexandre Dradvicki, who helped me to choose these music, digging into the depth of unknown French music to give us back all this beauty. And finally, the team of Alpha and Didier Martin, who supported this crazy project from the very beginning. And I also don't forget my family, friends, agent, colleagues through all these years that supported me. An award is not an end, but an encouragement to go on this path. So count on me.
Thank you. And now Cyril Dubois will present an aria from his album So Romantique, Au clair matin from Théodore Dubois' opera Xavier. Enjoy.
Au clair matin, la montagne rayonnait, la source chaude au creux des frais gazons. Le ciel est pur, tout mon cœur s'abandonne à la douceur des calmes horizons. Le jour guérit les chagrins de la veille, mon noir souci déjà s'est envolé, et l'espérance autour de moi s'éveille. Les arbres et les rochers m'ont parlé. Ils m'ont dit, va.
Wow. That was very impressive. Cyril Dubois, winner Best Solo Album, singing music by Théodore Dubois. And I've checked, there is unfortunately no family link between the two of them. Just so you might wonder. I invite our next jury member, an opera singer, radio presenter and music journalist. She says opera is an expensive, irrational, and complicated art form, but she loves being on stage. So give her a warm welcome, Franziska Schwartz.
Well, Floris, thank you so much. You're doing a wonderful job here tonight, and thank you, Amsterdam, for this great evening. I'm happy to be here. And of course, what he just said and quoted was only part of it. It was actually of the question was what we dislike in opera, and I said nothing except that it can be, and that is what he just mentioned. Well, we have to tell the truth sometimes. Now I have the pleasure to announce the best festival. And I put on my glasses because it's better to read it exactly what we wrote in our jury laudatio. After the Wagner razzmatazz has calmed down on Bayreuth's Green Hill at the end of August, the magnificently renovated Margravial Opera House regularly awakens to its former glory for 2 weeks in September, with new and extremely comfortable seats compared to those up on the hill. Bayreuth Baroque invites the rediscovery of Baroque operas done to the very highest standards. The fact that singer and director Max Emanuel Zenzic has taken over the artistic management is a stroke of good luck for the still young festival, which was able to set a new visitors record in 2023. It is a rare treat to experience Baroque opera this witty and entertaining, with such virtuosity and living connection to the present as it is performed here at Bayreuth Baroque. So I invite on stage Georg Lang and Clemens Lukas, CEOs of the festival. Please come on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear jury, Bayreuth Baroque Opera Festival is only 4 seasons young, I have to say, and already we are very, very excited and grateful to receive an award of this international standing. Thank you so much, dear jury. And yes, Max Emanuel Zenzic can be here. He is at the Opera of Monte Carlo tonight. So we are here. So we have 3 founders. This is Max Emanuel Zenzic, our artistic director. It's Georg Lang and myself, who did a kind of, let's say, a startup firm. Yeah, we started just because we thought we must have Bayreuth Baroque Opera Festival. And so we are 3, and we needed a 4th partner, and this partner was Margräfin Wilhelmine von Bayreuth. She died already, but she left something behind. It was this opera house she finished in 1748 in Bayreuth, because her brother, Frederick the Great, in Berlin, some years before, finished his opera Unter den Linden. So she was thinking, I want to do that too. So, and she did, and that's why we are here, because this wonderful opera house, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is now there, and we can play opera from the time of its construction, and you can imagine that the impact that makes is double or even triple as strong as if you just did it in a hall somewhere. So, and that's why I think we are able to, in these 4 years, we did a big amount of productions, didn't we, Georg?
Yes, Clemens, you're right. A very warm welcome from my side as well. We did in the last 4 years 8 different opera productions, 42 concerts, and 3 oratories of 7 composers. Our focus is unknown, rare Baroque opera. We are keen and proud to discover these jewels. The last years we did Alessandro Nelindje, Carlo il Calvo, and Flavio, and many more to come. Stars like Joyce Di Donato, Max Emanuel Zenzic, Franco Fagioli, Jakob Josef Orlinski, Rolando Villason, Jordi Savall are permanent guests, and we thank all these artists, all these wonderful artists, to do this journey together with us to discover these Baroque pearls and these unknown operas. It's a real pleasure to work with all the artists, and thank you so much.
There have to be done some more thanks. One thank is to our marvelous team, which is working in Bayreuth and Vienna, a very small team. We thank our critiques and the press who has accompanied us so far in a great way, and our sponsors. I mean, we have sponsors who supported us from the very beginning. This is the city of Bayreuth, the Free State of Bavaria, and the Commissioner of Culture and Media in Berlin. So without these, we wouldn't be able to be here. So I thank you for being here. I thank our sponsors, our audience, and the jury. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Clemens, for mentioning another very important aspect, the role of women in and for the art of opera, with mentioning Wilhelmine. I now have the pleasure to announce Best Conductor. And anyone growing up as a child of opera singers, playing the piano, the cello, the bassoon, and being blessed with an extraordinary vocal instrument should possibly be regarded as more than abundantly gifted, but someone hearing so many voices singing within herself, loving music in all its forms, will also be destined to conduct. An established singer, for an established singer, it takes a lot of perseverance to assert yourself internationally in front of well-known orchestras. But Nathalie Stutzmann has got that perseverance in spades. Her outstanding debut 2023 in the pit of the Bayreuth Festspielhaus up on the hill with Richard Wagner's highly charged Tannhäuser greatly deserves the Oper Award for Best Conductor. And as she is currently busy and on stage or conducting in Atlanta with her orchestra, I have the pleasure to read her message of gratitude, which just arrived via email, so I put on my other device and may quote Nathalie Stutzmann. I try to lower my voice in the contralto. No. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry that my schedule did not allow me to be with you this evening. It is such an honor to receive this award for Best Conductor, and I'm especially delighted that it is a result of the magical summer I had at the Bayreuth Festival. My thanks to Katharina Wagner for her trust. The music of Wagner has always been essential to me, and it was a dream come true to conduct Tobias Kratzer's production of Tannhäuser with a marvelous cast of singers and the legendary festival orchestra. I'm so much looking forward to being back next summer and developing our beautiful journey together. Many thanks to the jury and to everyone at the Oper Awards for this outstanding recognition. Nathalie Stutzmann, another applause. I'm getting back to my role as Franziska. Now presenting Best Production. Well, the issues that moved the composer Bohuslav Martinu 70 years ago to turn Nikos Kazantzakis' novel into an opera still affect us today. Refugees, a divided society, the tragic escalation into violence. When the dramatic and musical realization of a work is this relevant and succeeds on such a high level, both the program planners and the creative team have gotten everything right. The Greek Passion at Salzburg Festival. This production was thrillingly conducted by Maxime Pascal and grippingly directed by Simon Stone, and it was for us in the jury the best performance of the year. So please welcome on stage the artistic director of Salzburg Festival, Markus Hinterhäuser.
Wasn't exactly Martinu now, the music I said. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm very, very honest. I'm really happy about this recognition, about this award, and the entire Salzburg Festival is very happy about that. Franziska, thank you for your kind words. You said everything about the opera, so there's very little to add, but it meant a lot to me, this production. And it meant a lot to all of us in the festival. There was a very beautiful and immediate emotional reaction to what the audience experienced on stage. It was a wonderful, wonderful musical realization. You mentioned him, Maxime Pascal, a young French conductor. I was overwhelmed by his ability to work with the Vienna Philharmonic. And I tell you something, it's not easy to work with them, absolutely not. No, really not. And it's not easy to propose an opera from Martinu, to rediscover a highly interesting composer like Martinu and a super, super interesting opera like The Greek Passion, which is everything but a blockbuster. So I was very, very pleased and we all were very kind of surprised also that it was such a success and such a response of the audience. So, and this award makes it even more significant for me and for the festival. Thank you so much to the jury. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you for this award. I'm really happy about that. Thank you.
Next category is Best Female Singer. It is well known that an opera career requires more than just a beautiful voice. Still, it is rare that an artist is willing to reveal her innermost being to the audience through singing and acting alike. The enormous power in Giacomo Puccini's melodies, the abysses within the most delicate cantilines, can only be experienced through the artistry of someone embracing the characters' conflicts, their weaknesses and longings with great honesty. In Zurich in 2023, Puccini's La Rondine became a moving and exhilarating night at the opera with enormous depth, thanks to Ermonela Yaho. Ermonela, may I add, your brilliant Magda was a thrilling swallow and a dying swan all in one, and that was what moved me extremely. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. It's always so emotional to walk on stage, but first of all, I would like to thank you, the jury of the Opera Awards, for this recognition, my public, my management, my colleagues, everyone, because I think the art, the music, the opera, without our souls as artists, to reflect to your souls as public, couldn't survive. And I'm so emotional because I remember going back in time, the first time that I saw my first opera, I was 14 years old in Albania. And I fell in love immediately because it was something magic, something beautiful, something it made me a little suffer at the same time. And I made a promise to myself. Now, after that opera, that night, I told myself, now I will become an opera singer, and I will not die if I don't sing once in my life on stage. And, you know, going back at that time and now to receive this award, it's so emotional. The journey was so long, beautiful, a lot of difficulty, but at the same time so magic, still today. So thank you very much for this honor. And opera will live with us because opera is so emotional and it's the language of our souls. And for me, this journey became a spiritual journey. Thanks to you. Thank you very much.
I'm now happy to take her flowers and to announce the big aria of Magda of Puccini's La Rondine, Qu'il bel sogno di Duretta, sung and performed by our prize winner for Best Female Singer, Ermonela Yaho.
Yeah, best female singer, Ermonela Yaho, singing Puccini. So, and our last jury member tonight is a music journalist and a radio presenter. And the first opera he ever saw was Die Zauberflöte at Stadttheater Bremen. And he recalls in his own words, it was horrible. However, he did not give up. Nowadays, his favorite opera is Wagner's Tristan und Isolde, and his guilty pleasure is sleeping during opera performances. But tonight he is wide awake. Please welcome Kai Luers-Keizer.
Thank you so much. We are almost through, but let me say a word about this performance. Ermonela, this is just the thing because we love to do this job and we love opera. This is just the thing. Thank you so much. We have 3 categories left, 3 important categories. First of all, best opera recording of the year. The best opera recording of the year, in our opinion, is Jacques Offenbach, La Princesse de Trébizonde, released by the British label Opera Rara. The laudatio goes as follows. While the golden age of opera recordings may be over, as the big labels have pulled out, Opera Rara continues to release many of today's most important opera and operetta titles. In Jacques Offenbach's La Princesse de Trébizonde, ex-E&O conductor Paul Daniel and the London Philharmonic Orchestra ultimately discover their humorous side, with Virginie Verret as Prince Raphael, Anne-Catherine Gillet and Antoinette Denfeld, strict attention is paid to idiomatic expression. The Canadian tenor Josh Lovell is a discovery in a class of his own. All in all, a great moment of the Offenbach-Jade. Please welcome on stage Henry Little, the chief executive of the label Opera Rara, and conductor Paul Daniel.
Wow. Thank you so much to the jury. Opera Rara's relationship with Jacques Offenbach stretches back over 50 years. La Princesse de Trébizonde is the latest of several rediscoveries we have made of his music, and we are thrilled for our world premiere recording to receive this very prestigious award. My thanks go to our marvelous community of singers, recording engineers, producers, coaches, administrators, our friends and partners at the London Philharmonic Orchestra, all of whom have made our Trébizonde come alive. Thank you to Frank Harders at Boosey & Hawkes for his unwavering support of this project, and thank you too to Jean-Christophe Keck, editor of the Offenbach edition Keck, whose tireless and dedicated championship of this most appealing composer has helped to bring pieces like our Trébizonde back for 21st century audiences to enjoy. My most sincere thanks must go to our donors, especially our guardians. Their loyalty and generosity is what makes recordings like this possible, and we are very grateful to them for their support. And last, but most definitely not least, thank you to Paul Daniel, the conductor of our recording, for your outstanding artistic leadership. Paul, I'm so glad you can be with me tonight. Please.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you all. Thank you to the jury for choosing us. La Princesse de Trébizonde. Actually, there are more than one princess, as you will discover when you buy the CD box. It's no use downloading it on those channels. You need the box because the book tells you everything. There are 2. Offenbach was feverishly at work in 1869. He actually wrote one version, the first version, for Baden-Baden in the summer, and then he knew he wanted to bring it to Paris. But with 3 other operas ready to present in Paris in the autumn, he decided he was going to rip it all up and start again. So actually, with Jean-Christophe Keck, he found in the back of a wardrobe somewhere all of the original material from Baden-Baden. And of course, Henry said, look, we haven't got time to record all that. We can't possibly do that. We'll just do the main. I said, no. We're going to do all of it. I want to get at least more than half of the original bits and pieces from Baden-Baden, because they're fascinating and completely different. And he said, no, you can't, there's no time. I said, yeah, we're going to do it. Of course, this is where you need a company like Opera Rara, because, of course, they said yes, eventually. And a wonderful cast and an orchestra which could modify itself from 2 completely different orchestrations and produce with the same élan and the same amazing energy and subtlety, those 2 things. The problem is Offenbach. Offenbach is full of irony, sarcasm, clever, under-the-table wit that doesn't come out on the surface. It's funny music. It's incredibly witty on the surface, but to find those undercurrents, very difficult. You can do it on stage, because you can play it visually. Putting all that into a recording is very difficult. I desperately wanted to try to find all of the layers that we could find and put all of those things. Every love song, every aria which is about romance and love is undercut with jeopardy and a little bit of a threat. That's Offenbach. You know, there are at least 3 layers to find. We worked, and this is where you need Opera Rara, because they gave me, I said, I need at least a week before we get anywhere near the orchestra. We need more than a week with the singers and a piano to develop the cast, to develop the relationships, to develop all of these things, to dig deep into the characterization of the whole piece. And Opera Rara said, okay. So there we are. I hope that we managed to create what it felt like to be in the theatre on the first night, rather than in a recording studio with a bank of microphones, which is a disastrous place to record opera, if you like. But I hope we got a little bit of that theatre into the recording. And I think from the way it's been acclaimed and chosen by many critics, but especially tonight, I'm very, very pleased that it's clearly, we were quite successful. If anybody rings you from Opera Rara and asks you to take part in a project, say yes, drop everything else. They are the most wonderful recording company. Thank you very much.
We now come to a very important category, the Best Benefactor. The Opera Award 2024 goes to the Foundation of the Royal Opera of Versailles Spectacle. The laudatio goes as follows: we don't do it to make money, but to spend money. These are the words of Laurent Brunner, General Manager and Artistic Director of the Royal Opera of Versailles. The foundation, which was set up only in 2021, so this is 3 years ago, has since drawn the attention not only of the opera world, but of classical music as a whole, bringing a once central venue of early music into focus again, after many years during which the Château de Versailles operated mostly as a commercial tourist hotspot. By making music again at the original locations of the Opéra Royal and the Chapelle Royale de Versailles, respect, that's what we say. May I ask on stage Catherine Pégard, President of the Palace of Versailles, Laurent Brunner, General Manager of the Royal Opera and Château de Versailles Spectacle, and Wilfried Menet, President of the Friends of the Royal Opera and Vice President of the Board of the Directors of the Foundation. That was the most important.
Sorry for the accent. Hartlichen bedankt. Danke vielmals. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for our Association of Friends of the Versailles Royal Opera, solely composed of private donors, to celebrate our contribution to this prestigious award. Over the past decade, the generosity of our member and our major donors has enabled numerous remarkable projects only at the service of both the Château de Versailles and its magnificent Royal Opera. It fills us with pride and honor to collaborate with these two world-famous institutions led by two visionary leaders, namely Catherine Pégard and Laurent Brunner. Through French tax patronage regime, one of the most incentivizing in Europe, it remained possible to accomplish monumental feats and to finance ambitious and sustainable cultural projects for the benefit of a vast audience, both domestically and internationally. Louis XIV, Le Grand Louis, will be certainly very proud of this enduring French cultural legacy and maybe for this amazing award. Merci du fond du cœur. Thank you for your attention. Sorry.
We now turn to the final category of this evening, maybe the most prestigious one, the Honorary Lifetime Achievement Award. It goes to Waltraud Meyer, the famous Wagnerian singer. The laudatio goes as follows. Waltraud Meyer is probably the most famous female Wagner singer since Birgit Nilsson, even though these two famous singers had very few parts in common, mostly Isolde and Venus, I think. Yet whatever she sang, whether Kundry, Fricka, Ortrud, Venus, Sieglinde or Isolde, Waltraud Meyer left a deeper impression than any of her contemporaries. Strongly influenced by stage directors like Patrice Chéreau and Klaus-Michael Gruber, as far as I know, hers was the level of stage presence and dramatic plasticity rarely seen in Wagner operas before. Last year, she ended her stage career with the final Clytemnestra in Elektra by Richard Strauss, Waltraud Meyer.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to say something to you. Life is full of surprises. We all know that. And I would never have thought in whole my life to receive an achievement for not singing anymore. And also, if this award is for my lifetime achievement, I hope that my lifetime is not over yet. But thank you so much. Thank you for the jury. I'm very honored. And I remember all my 47 years of career, I sang my heart out with all my emotions, with all my messages that I wanted to send to you, to my beloved public, which was always very faithful to me. And I thank you very, very much. And I hope you stay with opera, you keep your love to opera and your love for music. Thank you.
Center stage. As always, center stage, and a little bit more to the front.
And in the light, I hope.
Yeah, in the spotlight. Yeah. Dear Walter Meyer, the main question, of course, would be, do you have yourself any idea what the reason was that your impression was a little bit deeper than of many singers beside you, singing certain roles like Isolde? You have no idea what I'm talking about, right?
No. No, I always lived my roles. I really entered into their bodies, and I couldn't do anything else than just believe in it and believe in all the words that I had to sing. So I cannot imagine anything else.
My guess would have been that you were not only a singer, but a singing actress and a singer at the same time. Cantantatrice, I think it's called in Italy. Would you agree?
Yes. For me, the acting was always as important as the singing. And I would also say that Renata Scotto, a colleague of us, all we singer know her, she said once... She died. Yes. But she said once, we may not only think of what we are singing, of our technique, but we have to know what we want to say, what we want to express, who we are when we are on stage. So that was always equally important to me than only the singing. The singing is only a transportation of something. But this, what lies behind the music, behind the transportation, that's the importance. Yeah.
Besides music and words and singing and acting, there is something called stage presence. And you had an enormous stage presence. You have it now. Yes, one can take one's eyes off you, which is a good thing, of course. Do you think you learned this somewhere on the way, or is it just a gift?
Well, I learned a lot, of course, from wonderful, wonderful regisseuren. And step by step, I had the feeling that they pulled something out of me, which was inside, and maybe I didn't dare in the beginning to show it. But they gave me the courage and also the knowledge of what I wanted to say. So growing with the knowledge and with the courage, I think it developed like that.
Do you think that you transform when you go on stage, that you become another person?
Of course. Of course, I'm not a private person anymore. That's the wonderful thing in opera when we are on stage, that you go away from what you are personally, what you are in private. You really discover the person that you are on stage, and you discover her problems, her hopes, her love, her hatred, and all those emotions. You can discover that. And it's wonderful because it also, later on or during rehearsals, you connect with it and you find a lot of what they are feeling. You find it in yourself. And I think this is one of the greatest gifts that we singers have on stage, that we can discover ourselves through the person we are presenting on stage.
Very important for you was the director Patrice Chéreau.
Yes.
Could you say in one word?
Oh, no. One word is nothing. I would have to write a book about him. But he was full of excitement, of knowledge, of not only about regie, but also of literature, of paintings, of philosophy, of psychology. And he was always loving to work with the body of a singer, because he knew that he could have the best ideas, but if the singer does not accept it, if it does not go through the body and the brain of the singer, he's helpless. So what I loved with him, that he was always discussing with us. He was always developing together with us. He took us seriously. And that's wonderful, because then you can bring in what your own ideas are for that role, for the piece. And he always explained it. And that made it the greatest experience I had really in my life with a regisseur. And I thank him for all that I could live with him.
As far as your singing is concerned, I always thought there's a certain Italian soft spot in your way of singing. You started out in Cavalleria Rusticana, so that was not foreign for you, and sang Eboli and things like this. So you were not what they used to call a Wagner canon. You were quite the opposite of that.
Well, I always tried to convince the audience that I'm not only a Wagnerian singer. Sometimes it was difficult because, also with my name, Waltraud Meyer, But I always told the people that Waltraud has nothing to do with the role of Waltraute in Götterdämmerung. This is completely different. The Waltraud, my name, is a Flammic saint, and Waltraute is a wordplay. It means she is the Vertraute von Wotan auf der Wahlstatt. Waltraute. Wahl is the war place game. So she was the trustee of Wotan during the war. From there comes the word or the name Waltraute. It has nothing to do with my private name.
But it's a beautiful role anyway. But it's a beautiful role anyway.
Oh, yes, and it was really the role that I sang longest. I sang it for 45 years. I started to sing it in 1978 in Mannheim, and I still did it last February in Dresden with Thielemann. And I thought by that time I should have learned it.
Special about your career was as well that your development into being a soprano, becoming a soprano in terms of Isolde, was successful, which is quite exceptional.
I didn't become a soprano. I always stayed a mezzo-soprano.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean.
But I made some, as I called it, excursions into soprano roles. No, I never turned into a real soprano. My voice teacher a long time ago, he always said, you're a lazy soprano, or only a half soprano, which means mezzo-soprano, a half soprano. So I tried out and I sang some of the soprano roles, but a lot of other soprano roles that I was offered, I refused because I knew exactly that would have really ruined my voice, and I knew exactly what I was able to sing and what not.
You were never tempted to sing Brünnhilde?
I was asked for Brünnhilde, and in fact I already had a contract for Brünnhilde. But then it was, I think I may say that, Nina Stemme was supposed to sing Sieglinde, and I was supposed to sing Brünnhilde. And then the time went by, the rehearsal time came near, and more I had really a stomach ache, and I thought, no, this is not a good idea to sing Brünnhilde. And so I asked if we could just change it, that Nina Stemme sings Brünnhilde, and I keep on singing Sieglinde. And I think that was, for both of us, the best decision that we made. She was a wonderful, wonderful Brünnhilde, and I love to sing my Sieglinde. Because the Brünnhilde is a tricky thing. You all know it's 3 operas. You have the Walküre, you have the Siegfried, and Götterdämmerung. With my voice, coming from the mezzo-soprano, I would have been able to sing Walküre Brünnhilde. But then in our business, I would have been asked to also sing Siegfried, Brünnhilde, and Götterdämmerung, and that I absolutely knew was not in my throat. And so I said to myself, no, you better don't do it.
Did you like your voice?
I only sang roles that I liked.
No. Did you like your voice?
Did I like my voice? I had no other choice.
You had a very nice and very short goodbye speech recently in Berlin when you sang that Clytemnestra I was talking about, and you simply said, "That's all, folks, und tschüss."
Und tschüss. No, I also said that I think I expressed everything I wanted to say through music. I expressed it, and now there's nothing left over, and tschüss.
Und nun, and now, was it really that simple for you? I mean,
yes,
to leave
it was simple
stage.
because I prepared to, to leave all the opera world. I prepared it long time ago, and I said goodbye to my big roles like Isolde, Kundry, Leonore, Fidelio, and all that. I said goodbye already. Now I must count. When was it? 8 years ago. Something like that. And, slowly, I gave up this role, that role, that role, that role. So it wasn't such a cut for me. It was a preparation. And I always celebrated the last time when I was singing a certain role. And then with the last Clytemnestra, it was easy. It felt light. So it's good.
If I'm not mistaken, you somewhere told that you sang all your roles with a candy in your
Of
mouth.
course. Yeah, there are other colleagues who always need a glass of water somewhere hidden in the set. I'm not so much the water drinker while singing, but I always have a candy in my mouth. And I always called it, that's my technique. And
sorry, what did you say?
It was my technique.
That was your technique?
Yeah,
okay.
The candy was my technique. I can recommend it.
Which flavor?
Flavor, black currant, and different.
And now it's over the candy time? Have you one in your mouth right now?
No, I'm not singing.
And did it never interfere with your singing? I mean, I can't imagine having a candy.
No, I put it under the tongue.
Okay. Pay attention.
I mean, no, I won't tell you all my secrets. And no, it was never happened anything. No, it was good. And they lasted always 20 minutes. And I knew, for example, of the acts of Tristan, they always endure 1 hour and 20 minutes, first act, and the same for the second act. So I always needed 3 candies.
Per act?
Per act. And I also hid them somewhere in the set. And I knew exactly at that time, I'm on that spot on the stage, and I can pick it up, and then I turn, and I continue to sing. So only my colleagues, they knew where it was. And I always told them, don't take that candy away. We won't be friends anymore.
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Do you still have a cat you are traveling with?
No, the cat is not traveling anymore so much, but...
That's sad.
No, for him it's not sad.
His name was Orest.
Is really. Still Orest.
Is still.
Is still alive, yes.
And your explanation for this name is, singing Clytemnestra, that you wanted to make a fresh start.
Yes, I found him as a little kitten, 3 weeks old, and immediately when I saw him, I said, you are Orest and I'm your mother, and in this life we do things much better. And up to now, he obeys.
Last question. Some years ago, you had an email address I think I can say this because it seems not to be active anymore, and it was called Walpurgis at something. That was your email address. You wouldn't deny that. Maybe it's not in service anymore. No, it's not in service anymore because I wrote to you and you didn't answer.
Yes.
So I suppose I can tell this.
Yeah.
The question is, the serious question behind this is there anything like witchcraft in singing?
Is there what?
Is there anything like witchcraft in singing?
It's technique, it's work, a lot of work, it's concentration, it's taking care of your health, of your body, of your health here, of, your emotions. No, there's too much work and too much reality, and you have to really stand with your feet on the bottom, otherwise you cannot get through it. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Walter Meyer.
Waltraud Meyer, winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award. So, my friends, we have awarded 19 winners. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you, Oper magazine, for this joyful night. Thank you all for being here to celebrate and to support. And for now, anyone up for a drink? Yeah, good. Then please join us afterwards in the foyer for a drink or two. Or as the Italians would say, libiamo. And I would once more like to invite our soloists to the stage, because as you might know, conductor Andrea Battistoni is currently conducting La Traviata right here. So to end this festive night, let's raise our cups and give it up for the Netherlands Philharmonic Orchestra and the terrific chorus of Dutch National Opera. Thank you and enjoy.
distinto